Hey friends, I am sitting here in my office and editing the kitchen declutter video and realizing that, wow, this is a lot of information just to walk through my small kitchen and go through a few cupboards and things. This is a lot of information and this video is so long, so I decided to go ahead and split this up into two parts. And that way you're not sitting and watching an hour-long video. So I'm going to divide this up and try to keep it, about 20 minutes each. And hopefully that will help with some of the content. And then if you guys have any ideas or see anything that maybe I may have missed in the kitchen, comment below and let me know, and I'll do a separate video on that. So thanks guys, I hope you enjoy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at them little boogers. Okay guys, so let's get started in the kitchen. There's a few things that you're gonna need to get started. I promise you it's nothing complicated. It's actually easier than you think. You're gonna need a box. You're gonna need to write donations on it. And this is gonna be your donation box. You determine the size. I suggest that if this is the first time through your kitchen, decluttering it, go with a larger box. I have a smaller box right here because my larger box is actually full and it's in the office. I'll share that with you here in a minute. Trash bag. Preferably black, as suggested by the Minimal Mom, which I can swear by this. Get a black trash bag, because if you can't see it, the husband can't see it, the kids can't see it, what's in it is less likely to come out and there will be less tears. So trash bag, donation box. And then you're going to need a quarantine box, time will tell box, let's see box. This is mine. And as you can see, it's full. So it's now time to let go of some of these things and put in here some things that I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to get rid of yet. So when I start decluttering the kitchen, it can go one of two ways. You can start in a messy kitchen, and for some of us, that might actually work. When you walk into a kitchen and you're just frustrated and you're like, that's it, I have had enough, this stuff is gone, grab a trash bag and start throwing stuff away. Start making a donation pile. Sometimes a messy kitchen can actually encourage you to make those quick decisions, keep or go. And you don't get caught up on the sentimental part of it, or how much money did I spend on this? This was supposed to make my life easier. Maybe I'm not using it right. I'm not using it enough. I'm going to use it more. Let me try again. There's so much that can hold us up, but I'm telling you, when in doubt, throw it out. So a messy kitchen you absolutely can start in, but like I'm going to do today, I went ahead and I tidied up my kitchen first, cleaned off the surfaces, and that allows me to access things a little easier and start pulling stuff out, because I have always noticed that my donation box is never big enough, and I start putting things on the counter so that I can transfer them to my donation box. That's just how I work. But I'm going to show you the easiest place to start first, and you really want to start easy. Don't jump in there and run to all your expensive electronic pieces and go, okay, which one am I going to throw away first? This one I spent $275 on. This one I spent $300 on. This one I spent $500 on. Maybe I shouldn't get rid of them. Don't start there. We're going to start really easy. And the best place to start is with that mismatched Tupperware set that you have in the cabinet. And this is the best place to start, Tupperware. Now, as you can see, my Tupperware is in a small section of my cabinets. I have just enough, don't need any more. And not only that, my lids are on my Tupperware containers, with the exception of the ones that I stack. These are the girls' lunch containers. So the school does not provide lunch, so I have to pack lunches for them, and I have small containers for them. Also, if you want to eliminate this, I suggest you get one of those bento boxes, and I'll link something down below that you can check those out today. So these are just extra little containers. If the containers do not fit in here, they're gone. But this is what I want to share with you. What is this? Now, I've already done my dishes, and everything in here has a lid. What is this? This is the miscellaneous lids. These are the lids. They get thrown back into the containers. They get thrown back into the cupboards. And this is where the problem starts. Extra lids, extra containers, nothing matches. I can't find it, and you throw it back in the cabinet. Girl, throw that thing in the trash. You don't need that. It is taking up precious space in your cabinet. And you know what really gets me is that you pull it out, or we'll say maybe somebody in the house will pull it out. They can't find the match, so what do? Throw it in the sink for a clean dish to be washed, and then the cycle starts again and it goes right back in the cabinet, and you're none the wiser. But for the longest time, I let this go, and we had tons of lids, nothing matched. I couldn't even figure out, like, when was the last time that I actually had this piece of Tupperware, but I still had the lids. So sit down, go through your cabinet, cupboard, drawer, wherever you are keeping your Tupperware, and match up every piece with the lid. If it doesn't have a match, it needs to go. Now, some people would say, oh, you should donate that. Who's going to want Tupperware that doesn't have a match lid or a match bottom? Throw it away. Just throw it away. Okay, the next place. Are you tired of doing piles and piles and piles of dishes? Are you just tired of looking at the piles of dishes and wondering why? Why do I have to do dishes again? I have a dishwasher, but not everything fits in there, and I still have to hand wash the dishes. I am so tired of doing this. Let me make a suggestion. And before you say no, hear me out. I have 2 serving sets in here because they usually come in sets of 4, and we have a family of 5, so I have 2. And we use these dishes, and everything fits in one load in the dishwasher. Before this, I had 2 more sets. Y'all, that's a lot of dishes. It filled up both sides. That's a lot of dishes. That's 16 bowls and 16 plates. Now, when you have company over, that's great, but I don't have company every day. And I definitely don't want to be doing that many dishes. So let me propose something to you. If you're tired of the dishes piling up on the counter, because everybody just keeps reaching in and pulling out another one and another one and another one until you do the dishes again, I suggest it's time to reduce the inventory. This is inventory that you have to manage. Your household has to manage. So anything and everything that you have in your home is inventory that you have to consider touching, taking out, washing, and putting away. If there's less inventory, you do less dishes. Now I know what you're saying, but that just means you have to do more dishes. You have to do them more frequently, And you're right, I do. But that means I stay up on it. And if you know yourself, you can do one of two things. You can wash dishes more frequently, or you can wash a whole bunch of dishes for a long period of time. Ladies, it takes me 5 minutes or less to do my dishes. 5 minutes or less. That's rinse them off and put them in the dishwasher. My dishes are speaking to me. Speaking of dishwasher, it's running now. So I run my dishes once at night, and then I throw the morning dishes in the dishwasher and run them again, and they're ready for dinner. And then when dinner comes around, I throw them back in the dishwasher. I hand wash a few things, but honestly, guys, if you just stay up on the dishes and put them in the dishwasher, you're actually doing less work. In theory, it sounds like you're doing more, but you're spending less time doing it. That leaves you open and available to do the things that you're needing to do the things you want to do, like actually sit down with your family and enjoy some time together, or do a craft project, or heaven forbid, actually be outside working in your garden, which is where I want to be. I don't want to be doing dishes for hours and hours. I want something simple. I want something easy to tackle that doesn't take everything out of me and that I am absolutely infuriated with as I'm doing it. And you know what I'm talking about. Scrubbing the dishes like they've done something horrible to you, and you're taking it out on the dishes because nobody helps you. They've used all the dishes in the house. If somebody would just load the dishwasher, if they could wash a load of dishes themselves. I've been there. I've said all the things. I've done and worked out all the frustration. And when it comes down to it, this is stuff. This is stuff that you're responsible for. I bought it. I thought, oh, I need this. I have to have this. I have to have extra sets if company comes over. I have to have all the things. It needs to be pretty. I bought it. That means I'm responsible for it. That also means that I can let it go. So if you're tired of doing the piles and piles of dishes, I suggest you take some of the dishes out of your cabinet, put them in your time will tell bin, let's see bin, and function for a minimum of 2 weeks. Get through 2 weeks, preferably 21 days, because you're setting a new habit. I myself put the dishes in the container and forgot about them. And I'm telling you, you're gonna forget about them because half of the stuff in the house we don't even use. Do you know you only use 20% of the items that are in your home right now? 20%. That's less than a quarter. That's not a lot. So please, please, I implore you, reduce the inventory and see just how easy life can get. Okay, let's talk kitchen utensils. Same thing, reduce the inventory. Now, I wasn't convinced with this one. The dishes I was almost sold on, but forks, spoons, knives, oh my goodness, we go through so many of them. So I'm like, there's no way. But then I kept thinking, why is it that we go through so many of them? There's never any in the drawer. There's a constant cycle of, I can't find a spoon, I can't find a fork, all the dishes are dirty. And I'm like, how is that possible? We have 2, 3, 4 serving sets. I should have like an endless supply, but we were still using them all, and I was washing all of them. So I did it. I reduced the amount of silverware we use. So there are 5 of us in the house. I picked a number that would work for us. Of course, there's an extra miscellaneous fork in here. That might be, who knows? Somehow it slipped back in here. See how that sneaky stuff gets back in here? But there's 5 of us. I usually have anywhere between 5 or 6 in here. That's it. And you can see I have dishes in the dishwasher running right now. And that's all the silverware we've needed. Okay, utensils. How many spatulas do you have? And can somebody please explain to me, is this a spatula or is this a spatula? Or are they both spatulas? Either way, if you have more than 2, you probably have too many. Let's really consider this. Right now, I have too many. I'm trying to transition from plastic to wood. I have 2 of these. Another one, which this is great for eggs, so I would never get rid of that. 2 of these. Not really sure what those are used for, but I do cook with them. Noodles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at them little boogers. I was pretty sure I got rid of these. But here we go. Now, how often do you use these? Probably when you're baking. So why do you need 3? Why do I need 3? I mean, this one's my favorite because it has the grippier end. And then I like the little scoopy thing on this. See how we try to convince ourselves that, oh, we must need more? But this is what I'm going to try to do. I really do like the curved spatula. So I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to put these 2 in my time will tell bin. And time will tell. Let's see what else we got. 3 wooden spoons. This is for Kool-Aid, which we don't drink, so not quite sure. 1 of these. 2, 3 of these. Like, why? Potato masher, we do it the old-fashioned way. And a ladle. Y'all, can I share something with you? That is a lot of utensils. Do you know why I keep them in a canister on my counter? Because I have more. I might have a problem. I love to cook, so I love having all the gadgets. I think it's time to pare some of these down. Okay, so what I'm not going to do, because I am not this kind of person, is how does this spatula make me feel? This spatula doesn't make me feel anything. It's a spatula. It's a tool. I use it to cook. Do I use it to cook? These are the things you need to ask. Do I use this? Is this my favorite? Does it serve a purpose? Is this the one that I grab when I'm making hamburgers, when I'm making eggs, when I'm doing pancakes? Is this the one that I use? Oh, I've got my favorite. Or is this the one that I grab? Is this the one I'm constantly searching for? And that's a yes. This gets used all the time. I would really love to replace this with the metal one because I'm trying to get rid of plastic. So we're going to keep this one and we're going to lose these 2. Now, before you say anything, because this just popped into my head, if I'm making eggs in the morning and then I need the spatula later that day for lunch, what do? Well, you wash it. Just wash it. I keep a sink of soapy water all day long, I just wash it. If that is not a season of life that you're in, then keep two. You know, I can't tell you what the right number is. And really, there's no right number. It's what works for you and your family. If you cook breakfast and your husband comes in and he cooks lunch and he's not going to wash it, keep two. There is no inventory police. I'm not going to come for you. Nobody's going to come for you. Keep what works for you. Now, doesn't that look nicer? I've eliminated some excess utensils and everything fits. Okay, let's tackle the kitchen drawers. Lots of stuff gets thrown in the kitchen drawers. Miscellaneous items, extra things that we kind of don't know where to throw, like clothespins that I use as chip clips. But guys, I pulled like 6, 7, 8 chip clips out of this drawer. Each drawer in the kitchen, I'm going to wipe out and add this shelf paper. I'm really loving the shelf paper. It really cleans up the drawer. It makes me happy when I open it. And I'm not going to invest in any new storage containers or baskets right now. I'm going to use what I have on hand to see if these systems really work. And then maybe later on, I'll invest in something a little nicer, like some bamboo drawer containers or dividers. Y'all, how many chip clips do you have in your drawer? I don't think we've ever owned, 6 to 8 bags of chips, so I'm not quite sure why we need this many. And the clothespins. Okay, this is our lid drawer, where we keep the lids to cups and straws for the kids. And this drawer is always a hot mess. Everything, it starts out organized and then it just gets thrown in here because I'm keeping my mason jar lids in here. Straws, popsicle holders, the lids for the cups, and it's always a mess. I have some extra baskets, and I'm going to add these extra baskets to the drawer to kind of try to corral some of this stuff, to hold some lids, some of the popsicle holders that keep getting just thrown in the drawer. Of course, the drawer wouldn't close with all those lids up front, so I have to find a new home for them. But for right now, I'm going to shove them in the back because I'm really the only one that uses those. And I just want the drawer to function a little better for the kids to access. So I'm putting the things they need towards the front of the drawer. I threw away the excess straws, the excess lids, anything that didn't belong. It was rehomed. And it looks a lot better. Holy cow. All right, my mess of a utensil drawer here. All the extra utensils that don't fit in that gigantic container I keep on my counter. So I'm gonna pare down any of the extra utensils. I'm gonna try to keep one whisk and pull out anything that I am not using in this drawer. Oh my goodness, another chip clip. I found a grapefruit knife. I don't think I've ever used this. I don't even know why I have it, but apparently I bought it. Now I know you're thinking, why is she putting her aluminum foil and parchment paper in this direction? The flap, the little closure flap on the top, keeps getting stuck on the top part of the drawer, so I keep them facing this direction. I think I'm going to try to rehome these at some point or find something that holds them, but I'll have to revisit that later. Right now, I am keeping only what I am using. And then everything else is either going to be donated or it will go into my let's see bin. And of course, I threw that extra chip clip away. And all those extra items, they're just going to have to go. All right, the junk drawer. I personally believe every house needs a junk drawer because you need something that's going to catch the miscellaneous, whether, it's a drawer or a cabinet. I suggest you pick a small space. I like the small space. I specifically chose a small space because I didn't want it to build and build and build. And as you can see, this drawer is tiny. It's the smallest drawer I have in my kitchen, and it's loaded with stuff, just miscellaneous stuff. So imagine if this drawer was 3 times this size, or if we were using a cabinet, it would be full. So most of the stuff I'm pulling out is like hardware and tools and basically just junk that needs to go in the trash. Now, as you can see, there's not a lot that's going to go back in this drawer, but I guarantee you in a month's time, it will fill back up. So I am very, very grateful for a junk drawer because I would much rather have it in a drawer than it laying all over my kitchen counters. So I have a hardware basket and I put the extra screwdrivers and things in there that I'm not quite sure what they go through, and then when Joe needs it and is asking, hey, it was in the drawer, where'd it go? It's in this basket. This drawer is so clean now, it's going to scare Joe to death when he opens it. So thank you guys for joining me today for part 1 of my kitchen declutter. Make sure you join me for part 2 as I dive a little deeper into the cabinets. And guys, as always, I thank you for joining me on my journey, and I bless you on yours.
I'm okay with the junk drawer. I just don't know. Very much junk in the junk drawer. Where'd everything go? The scissors aren't even in here anymore. Where'd the scissors go?
The scissors are on my desk, but there's a basket. There was never a pair of scissors in there to begin with. The scissors have always been on my desk.
No, there's been safety scissors in there a couple times.
No, I did not pull out a pair of scissors.
Not this time. They went somewhere else.
But there is,
It's a little warm in there.
I put everything in a tool bag because a lot of it was screws and screwdrivers and those funky wrenches.
The one's named Alan.